Every year he was getting into car accidents, and he was just forgetting a lot.
Deborah and Wayne Wynn are at the Medical College of Georgia in Augusta for answers after a very difficult year.
I didn't know what day of the week it was. That's one of the problems I had. And then I didn't know what month it was. I don't know what month it is right now.
A mechanical engineer for 30 years, Wayne and Deborah were referred to Georgia MemoryNet by their primary care physician.
Hey, Wayne, how are you?
I'm great.
I'm John Morgan. Nice to meet you.
This never existed before. In a state where many counties lack a single neurologist and have few family doctors, early dementia diagnosis and care is next to impossible.
You did a one-pager called the Montreal Cognitive Assessment, looking at your function on that. And it looked like you had some trouble on that test. It was a little difficult for you.
That goal of bringing memory assessments to Georgians who need them finally became real. It was passed by Georgia's legislature in 2018 and funded by the Georgia Department of Human Services and Division of Aging Services, and is supported by community organizations like the Alzheimer's Association.
There's a lot of education and training.
Dr. James Law, Vice Chair of Emory Neurology, is the director of Georgia MemoryNet. Emory serves as the central coordinating and training center for the entire network across the state.
I would love for everybody in the state of Georgia to be able to reach a center of expertise within the state in less than 60 minutes, less than 1 hour of driving.
With that distance in mind, Georgia MemoryNet was created. 5 memory assessment clinics throughout the state: Augusta, Columbus, Macon, Albany, and downtown Atlanta.
Navigation was also more difficult too, getting from point A to point B.
Patients are referred by their primary care physicians.
Well, let's go over your MRI results together, okay? There's some atrophy in the parietal lobe as well of the brain. So you do have some shrinking of your brain in various spots. Do exactly what I do, okay?
Neurologist Dr. John Morgan is the director of Georgia MemoryNet's Memory Assessment Center at the Medical College of Georgia.
Like any kind of
he
show.
tells the Winds that the results of some of the more detailed cognitive testing they did raises concerns.
The stuff in red here is the worrisome stuff, okay? Where it's abnormal, it's below normal, okay? So your processing speed was abnormal. One measure of the thinking executive function speed was not good. And then your memory was significantly impaired, which is what I'm hearing in your history. Tap on big and fast like that. Good, okay, all right.
He puts together a plan to recheck Wayne's thyroid levels and to treat him for depression, but he also prepares them for what the reality could be.
There could very well be an underlying process like Alzheimer's going on. At least it allows you to plan and to get treatment early. If you blow it off, you may be too late for a therapy that may have saved a lot of your memory.
The Winds will be connected to resources, and a social worker will help them plot a path forward. While many see a diagnosis of dementia as hopeless, there are interventions and promising drugs on the horizon that only work in early disease stages.
I am starting to sort of really embrace the idea and try and communicate the notion that diagnosis delayed is going to mean treatment denied, because these first rounds of really encouraging and effective Alzheimer's drugs will be meaningless if we don't identify these people early enough.
In a year complicated by COVID-19, Georgia MemoryNet is using telehealth in order to reach people who need assessments regardless of where they live in the state.
Part of the long-term goal in my mind is to develop a system where statewide our citizens can have access to these emerging treatments and really benefit. And then the downstream effect of that is going to be enormous, because we're talking about drugs that potentially will take, a disease that progresses over the course of 10 years. If we stretch that out to 15 years, it will reduce the cost and burden of Alzheimer's disease by 50%.